Welcome to My Books and Storytime by Mybooksandstorytime. Let's explore. In the gaslit streets of Victorian London, where fog drifts through narrow alleyways and hansom cabs clatter on cobblestone roads, there resides a man unlike any other. A man with razor-sharp intellect, piercing eyes, and an insatiable thirst for unraveling the mysteries that baffle the ordinary mind. This man is Sherlock Holmes, the brilliant consulting detective whose keen observation and unparalleled logical reasoning have made him legendary. His companion, Dr. John Watson, a retired army doctor with a steady hand and a keen eye for storytelling, chronicles their adventures, offering the world a glimpse into the mind of this enigmatic genius. Within the pages of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Watson recounts 12 thrilling cases, each more intriguing than the last, where Holmes takes on devious criminals, uncovers hidden truths, and delivers justice in his own unique way. These stories not only showcase Holmes's extraordinary abilities, but also reveal the camaraderie and deep friendship between the detective and his loyal friend. Chapter 1. A Scandal in Bohemia, the woman who outsmarted Sherlock Holmes. Holmes has always prided himself on his unmatched intellect, believing that emotion clouds judgment. Yet in his career, there is one woman who manages to outwit him, not through deception, but through sheer intelligence. That woman is Irene Adler. The case begins when a disguised visitor arrives at 221B, Baker Street. He is none other than the King of Bohemia, who seeks Holmes's help in retrieving a compromising photograph. The image, showing him with the beautiful and clever Irene Adler, could destroy his upcoming marriage to a royal princess. Holmes devises an elaborate plan to break into Adler's home, using trickery to force her to reveal the photo's location. However, Adler proves to be his equal. Anticipating Holmes's moves, she outsmarts him, escapes London with her new husband, and leaves a farewell note behind. For the first and only time, Holmes admits defeat, not with bitterness, but with admiration. From that day forward, he refers to Irene Adler simply as the woman. Chapter 2. The Red-Headed League, a Curious Employment. When Jabez Wilson, a red-haired pawnbroker, comes to Holmes with a bizarre story, the detective is immediately intrigued. Wilson had been hired by the Red-Headed League, a mysterious organization that paid him to copy the Encyclopedia Britannica for hours each day. But suddenly, the League vanished without a trace. Holmes quickly deduces that the entire scheme was a distraction, designed to remove Wilson from his shop, while criminals dug a tunnel to rob a nearby bank. With Watson by his side, Holmes sets a trap and catches the culprits just in time. It is a case of brilliant deception, but even more brilliant deduction. Chapter 3. A Case of Identity, the Vanished Fiancé. A distressed young woman named Mary Sutherland seeks Holmes's help when her fiancé, Hosmer Angel, mysteriously disappears on their wedding day. She insists that he was deeply in love with her, yet he left without a word. Holmes, ever perceptive, sees what others miss. Hosmer Angel never existed. He was a disguise created by Mary's stepfather, who wished to keep her from marrying, so he could control her inheritance. Though Holmes solves the case effortlessly, he chooses not to reveal the truth to Mary, knowing that she would never believe it. Sometimes, even the greatest detective must let some mysteries remain unsolved in the heart. Chapter 4. The Boscombe Valley Mystery, a Murder in the Countryside. Summoned to the English countryside, Holmes investigates the murder of Charles McCarthy, whose son is the prime suspect. The evidence appears damning. The son was seen arguing with his father, and his bloody footprints were found at the scene. But Holmes's sharp eyes notice a key clue: a mysterious dying message left by the victim. The name, Rat, written on the ground leads Holmes to the real killer, an Australian convict seeking revenge. As always, Holmes sees what others overlook, turning a seemingly open-and-shut case into a thrilling puzzle. Chapter 5. The 5 Orange Pips, a Deadly Warning. When John Openshaw receives an envelope containing 5 orange pips, he is terrified. His father and uncle had received the same warning before their untimely deaths. Fearing that he is next, he turns to Holmes for help. Holmes quickly recognizes the KKK initials on the letter, proof that this is no mere prank, but a deadly warning from an American secret society. He devises a plan to catch the killers, but before he can act, Openshaw is found dead. Furious at the loss of his client, Holmes ensures that justice is served. The ship carrying the murderers is lost at sea, delivering justice in the cruelest way possible. Chapter 6: The Adventure of the Speckled Band, a Murderous Scheme. One of the most chilling cases Holmes ever encounters involves Helen Stoner, a frightened woman whose sister died under mysterious circumstances, whispering only 2 words before she perished: the Speckled Band. Holmes and Watson travel to Helen's home, a crumbling estate owned by her violent stepfather, Dr. Grimsby Roylott. That night, Holmes lies in wait in Helen's room and discovers the deadly truth. The Speckled Band is a poisonous snake, trained by Roylott to kill his stepdaughters before they can inherit their mother's fortune. Holmes drives the snake back into its master's room, where it fatally bites Roylott. Justice is served by the very creature he used to murder. Chapter 7: The Adventure of the Engineer's Thumb, a Trap in the Night. One of Watson's patients, an engineer named Victor Hatherley, arrives with a horrifying story. He was lured to a remote house to fix a machine, but was instead attacked and nearly killed. His thumb was severed in the struggle, and he barely escaped with his life. Holmes unravels the mystery. Victor had stumbled upon a counterfeit money operation. The criminals had tried to kill him to keep their secret safe. But thanks to Holmes's deduction, the authorities raid the hideout, though the ringleader escapes. Even Holmes cannot win every battle, but his pursuit of justice never wavers. Final thoughts: the legacy of Sherlock Holmes. From the misty streets of London to the eerie halls of ancient mansions, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes takes us on a journey through the art of deduction. Through 12 masterful cases, we see Holmes in all his brilliance, deciphering the tiniest clues, outwitting the most cunning criminals, and upholding justice in a world filled with deception. Yet, at the heart of these stories, we also see the unwavering friendship between Holmes and Watson. Though Holmes prides himself on logic, it is Watson's loyalty that gives his adventures meaning. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle created more than a detective. He created a legend, a character whose mind could dissect the most tangled mysteries, and whose name would forever be synonymous with brilliance and intellect. Holmes himself might dismiss sentimentality, but the truth remains. Even the greatest detective of all time was human. And it is that very humanity, woven into his adventures, that makes Sherlock Holmes a character for the ages. Stay tuned for more enlightening content. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe the world icons.